There we are, Rosalind. We're now live.
Hey, Joe, it was definitely amazing meeting you in person. I met you a few days back and warm welcome. And thank you for taking your time for sharing your thoughts and meeting me. I'm
It's a,
Rosalind Panda, and it's a pleasure to talk to you today.
it's a pleasure, Rosalind. It is indeed. So where are you speaking from?
I'm in New Jersey, New York. That's where
Oh,
I'm just out of. Yeah.
right. You were local to the event then.
Absolutely. Are you also in New York these days?
No, we're at the moment we're in the UK.
Oh, UK, right, right. You're born in New UK, isn't it?
That's right. Yes, we're born. That's where Reebok started in UK. Yes,
Yeah.
we're here for
Mhm.
about a week and then we're off to Dubai.
Oh, wow, that's incredible. So let's start with if you said UK. So can we start with the journey? How did you start your journey with thinking about a product, shoe, like a product which is shoe out of all of every other product in the world? Why did you think about shoe?
Well, the family has been involved in sports shoes for over 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather set up the company J.W. Foster, and that was in the year 1900, wasn't it?
1895.
Well, in 1895 he invented the running spike, the spike running shoe, and he had a company by 1900. By 1904, he had three world records in his shoes, and by 1908 he had also gold medals, two gold medals at the London Olympics. So we've been involved in sports shoes for a long time. My grandfather, however, he died in 1933. I was born in 1935. Uh,
Wow.
so I never saw, but I was born on his birthday.
Mm.
So I have his name. He was Joseph William. I am Joseph William. And at that time, when I was born, his sons, my
Mm.
father and my uncle, they were then running the business. Unfortunately, they didn't do a good job of it. They didn't increase it. They didn't improve it. They didn't scale it or grow it in any way. And when my brother Jeff and I came into the company, we could see that it was failing. It was failing badly, and although we tried to get them to change their minds, my father and uncle, they just didn't have any interest. So what Jeff and I did eventually in 1958, we left the family business and set up our own sports shoe business. So that's why we're in sports shoes, because we were born into it.
Mhm.
Family had been into it for a long time. So sports shoes was a business we knew. And so
Mhm.
we set up Reebok in 1958.
And so you mentioned that your family business, and did you feel at any moment discouraged or disappointed and clueless how to go about scaling it up?
Well, we were young. We're only in our early 20s. And really, it was exciting. The
Exciting.
excitement of stepping up and doing your own thing and your own business. When you're young, what can go wrong?
So you didn't see the challenger or obstacle or hurdle as it is, but you rather found it interesting.
Oh, very interesting. And we were very naive. We didn't think there was a problem in setting up our own business. We
Mm.
found a lot of problems once we set up our own business, and we had a lot of problems. We had to change our name, and we
Mm.
had to change our silhouette. So uh, these uh, these were problems. Well, we had a lot of them, but what we learned very quickly was
Mm.
that failure, problems, they're just lessons. They and you can turn those into opportunities. They
Nice.
become opportunities if you look at them correct. And we did that. We ended up with a better name.
Mhm.
We started as Mercury. We ended up as Reebok.
Oh,
And
who came up with that name and why Reebok? Reebok.
Reebok.
Mm.
I guess you've not read the book yet.
As the shoemaker, right?
Maker,
In the
yes,
book. Yeah. Yeah. I
yes,
mean, I just wanted to hear from you.
yes. Oh, yes. Well, I can tell you, but the full story would take about half an hour, just how we
Oh,
set
right.
the name.
Yeah.
So it'd be very good. Well, if you get hold of the book or even listen to it on audio, you get the full story. But a shortened version is that, okay, Jeff and I set up Mercury Sports Footwear in 1958. 18 months later, our accountant said, "You're doing good. You're doing fine. You need to register your name." Oh, and that was the Mercury name. We found out we couldn't register it because somebody else already pre-registered that name. So the agent said, "Okay, you'll have to change it. Don't bring me one name, bring me 10. Bring me 10 names." So we're thinking, okay, Cougar Sports, that would be a nice name, yes. Falcon Sports. So we were thinking of animals or birds of prey. But let me take you back to 1943. That's 80 years ago, and I am 8 years old.
Yeah.
And this is in World War II. And just like COVID, it was in lockdown. People couldn't go anywhere. But we did have local events, and I won a 60-yard race, and I went up for my prize, and my prize was a dictionary. I was very disappointed. I was looking for a football, but I got a dictionary. And this dictionary was an American dictionary, a Webster's American Dictionary. So I now have a Webster's American Dictionary. And if we fast forward to 1960, we're looking for names. And my dictionary, my American dictionary, is sat by me, and I opened the dictionary at letter R because I like the letter R.
Okay.
Don't ask me why, but I just like the letter R. And I soon start thumbing through, and I come across Reebok. What's that? Reebok. What is Reebok? Well, it's a small South African gazelle. We are a running company. So gazelle, that was perfect. So I put this to the top of the list, and I took it to the agent. The agent took some time to go through the register because you have to check the register out. And he came back 2 weeks later and he said, "Joe, you've got your wish. You can have Reebok." So that's how we got Reebok.
That's a very interesting story. And I can see the story. It makes it even more interesting and to hear it from you live.
Right.
So, yeah. So, if I talk about the intimidation, right? So, were you intimidated by the competitors which were existing that time, or you didn't see any competition? You just went straight forward with your vision?
Well, we had to have our own path. We needed that because we didn't have the money to compete with Adidas. They were too big. And Adidas they were in the UK, and they actually owned the football market, soccer market. They just owned that. And for us to get into that market, we just didn't have the money for challenging. So we looked at local sports. Well, just local sports. And the local sports, there were things called fell running, cross-country running. And in the north of England, these were small, but we could actually own them. And we could knock on the doors. There was also rugby league. Rugby union is big and more in Europe, but rugby league was specific to the north of England. So again, I could go and knock on the door, and I could start to sell direct. So selling direct to athletes, runners, and rugby players, that's how we started our business. We went into what we call white space. White space was a place where we could go that we could make a difference, and we could become personal for them, and that was great. So that's how we started our business, and we scaled the business enough to really be the #1 running shoe company in the UK, and we
That's
also
great.
yeah
Yeah.
we also had the rugby league teams.
No, that's quite interesting and very incredible that how this journey started out and the scaling up part as well. So do you see the technology, right? So we are now in the technology world, innovation. do you see that technology plays any role for scaling up the business, or what is your perspective on that?
Well, I stepped back from Reebok in the end of 1989, and we still hadn't got computers by then.
Mm-hmm.
We hadn't got smartphones or cell phones. So life is now so different because we can speak. You're in New York, we're in the UK. We've got 3,000, 5,000 miles, whatever it is, difference between us. And it's just like we're in the same room. Whereas when I was in the business and I was scaling up the business, for me to do business in America, I had to take a flight. I had to fly in. In the first instance was the NSGA, the National Sporting Goods Association in Chicago, and I had to meet people. So now you can do things so quickly.
Yeah.
If you want something, you can just go to whatever you want to. You can go wherever you want to, and you can find out anything you need these days so quickly. So it is totally different. But what still applies is you need influencers. My grandfather had influencers. We had influencers that got us into the sports, and we got into America by having Runner's World gave us 3 5-star shoes. So we got into America. That influenced people in America to buy Reebok. And the technology, though, now is such that whilst you don't need to do what I did, you still need to influence the market.
Right.
And so you
Especially
need
in business.
Oh, in business, yes. And that has applied right back to my grandfather. He influenced his business by putting his shoes on people who won the events, on good athletes, top athletes, and that still applies today. That you need that association with whether it be a basketball player, with Reebok has Shaquille O'Neal, Allen Iverson, D. Brown. All these influenced the market for Reebok, and you still need that today, even though we have the technology.
So last question from me, that what is your key message or underlying message that you're going to give to our audience today, for the youth, for the people who are really looking to?
Well, I think the underlying message is that you have to enjoy what you're doing. So you've got to have fun. If you're not having fun, then it's going to be a difficult road to success. It's going to be very difficult. So have fun. If you're having fun, it makes it easier. And if you're enjoying it, you have a very good chance to be successful.
Can't agree to it more. Absolutely. And it was a pleasure talking to you, Joe, and for your sharing your wisdom, your golden nuggets with everybody. And we learn from you, we are influenced, and we are best wishes for this brand to make an impact in the world. So thank you so much again.
It's going that way now, yes. We're going to be back. We're going to get, whether we get to #1 again, that's going to take some time.
Always winning is a language that we speak, isn't it?
Yes, of course it is. But thank you, Rosalind. It's been a pleasure. And I'm sure we'll meet again, because I'm sure we will be at other JT's events. We will certainly be doing that. So it's been an absolute pleasure.
Appreciate, much appreciated. Have a